ESPORTS. TSM are 2-2. Are we hopeful? Are we doubtful that this team can? Where are we with them? Is this a bad start? Is this something that we shouldn't be concerned about? Will they finish with an above 500, below 500, straight up record? Will they make the playoffs? How are we feeling about TSM right now, Jacob?
If you have known Barry Lee well enough, or long enough and well enough, you will remember this meme. I feel like the sweaty Metagross meme that Barry used to share all the time. It's just like wiping the sweat away from the brow, the sense that like we're still okay for now, but I feel like we're getting to the point where it's like a couple more messy losses. I'm going to start to get a little bit more concerned. There's a little bit of sweat right here, right across my brow if I'm someone at TSM. And that's how I feel accurately right now. Is I don't think it's time to panic, but things are not looking so great, and there need to be some in-game adjustments, maybe not roster adjustments, but we're not past the point of no return for this roster, but it is getting a little sweaty. So that's my thought.
So my thing with TSM is that I think people with Doublelift rejoining were expecting them to immediately come out of the gate and just be like, we're summer 2016 TSM, or we're 2017 TSM, where we're just coming in, we're smoking everyone, just like TL did in the past 2 years, and it's going to be great. And the thing I've seen with this TSM team that I think really needs to be addressed when you look at their performances is their drafts. And that's not to say like they draft poorly and they lose, or they draft well and they win. That's not actually what this is about. It's that they've tried a lot of riskier things in draft. They've picked more difficult to execute compositions several times. And you've seen that, for example, like in week 1, they picked difficult to execute composition in their first game, lose. They pick a really easy composition to execute in their second game, and they win. This past week, they were testing out middle sticks in both of their games. One to success and one not to so much success, because all the opposing team had to do is build MR. I think the big thing is that it's not saying like TSM, draft equals bad. It's that they're very obviously trying out a lot of things. And this is something that TSM has constantly done actually over the past few years. If you've talked to them, they've always been like, we're trying to find our identity. We're trying out a bunch of different stuff. And that always runs up against the TSM classic. We're going to invade second blue. We're going to play a very specific way in the mid game. And that always butts heads with it. Like they're trying to branch out, and then they just can't get past like a certain barrier. And I like the fact that they are trying to branch out, but I also think at the beginning of the split, you might just want to lock in some easy stuff as the team is still gelling and coming together. I don't think that they necessarily need roster changes. I actually think, in my opinion, Spica has made some mistakes, but he's looked a lot better with the team than I expected of him, actually. They seem to be really happy with him as a team, like the rest of the team talking to them. And so I think it's just a matter of like, sometimes just pick an easy to execute comp. Just pick something where all everyone has to do is press R at the right time, because you guys can do that. Like very easily, you have the talent to be able to do that. And sometimes that helps with just getting like team morale up, getting the community off your back if that does affect you, So, I mean, that's my take on TSM. I think you can very easily see from a lot of the compositions that they're picking that they're still trying to feel out like who they are. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do think that is also reflected in their win-loss record.
So they could get better, and they could become a playoff team. No, all hope is not lost.
For sure.
Anyone could be a playoff team.